What is up, everybody? Divine Hood here, coming at you with another daily update on Bitcoin and the crypto markets. Welcome in, everybody. We are getting a little bit of a pump right now, and literally right before the stream, we just had a market structure change, which could change everything locally. So welcome in, everybody. Glasshopper, welcome in. Much love to you. Quiles, much love to you. Yeshwant, love you as well. Thank you for always tuning in from India. Chad P, thank you for being here. Time Attack, much love to you as always. Yes, guys, please hit the like button. If you get any sort of insight into the market from this live stream, please hit the like button for me. Ryan Henson, Wander 5813, thank you guys so much. Thank you for the support, Wander. And Ryan Henson, it is game time, man. This is getting exciting for Bitcoin. And what with just happened right now means that we could make one more new range high above 76K, above Tuesday's highs. Let's see, Say by the Blood ROM 325, Bitcoin is pumping. Let's see what we get. The altcoins are really pumping. Like if we look at Solana is pumping right now and coming up to some resistance that I am potentially interested in taking a short at. We'll kind of diagnose that throughout the stream today. Mind Tapestry, much love to you as always. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for always being here. Darkspeed19, yeah, it does seem like we do have some nice timing right now. Maybe we can catch some scalp trades during the stream today. Crypto Clan World, welcome in. Teal House and Coffee and Bakery, welcome in as well. Thank you. And I'm always glad to be here to share my knowledge, to share my insight with you guys. Thank you all for being here as well. It's sometimes right. Welcome in. I'm glad you're here. Dread Mining, much love to you, man. Charity Amperonda, welcome in. Jose Luciano, welcome in, and Morris Islam, welcome in, and Golden Liquidation. So guys, thank you all for being here. What is happening right now, what we saw this morning with Bitcoin is, let me go ahead and, first of all, we were kind of consolidating within a triangle here throughout the day, but we're starting to break that triangle to the upside. Now, we did just take out a local high into our value area high, and if we are going to start to reject here, we see a very clear three-wave move. So if we do start to lose this low, I would expect continuation down. But let's zoom out from pretty much the rejection from the golden pocket yesterday. So I did end up taking a short around 75.1, that golden pocket yesterday, and I did take some profit on that upon taking out these lows this morning. I was thinking we were going to go a lot lower, so I only took out 25%, pretty much just enough to cover fees and break even or maybe pay for a little bit of lunch. But what we are seeing from the range highs on Tuesday, from the new highs, the SFP high, and I'm still in that short, by the way, as well, on a different exchange. But we can see now very clearly this is starting to look like a potential three-wave corrective move, overall making a lower high, taking out the range highs, or range lows, excuse me, this morning. And now we are starting to break market structure bullishly. With this pump that we are seeing as we speak, we are starting to break this downtrend of market structure that we see making lower lows and lower highs. We're breaking it to the upside. So if we can actually break out of the value area high of this micro range that we're in, we could see a nice move up, confirming in some ways the flip in market structure is already our first sign of strength. The fact that we're breaking some of these lower highs is our first sign of strength that this is a completed three-wave move down, and we are going to break up to take out your range highs. I would like to personally see the break of the value area high with some volume and even like break above this and not SFP yesterday's high. That would be nice to see. Market structure change is important. We, on the lower time frames, we have been grinding down within lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. And for the first time, we started consolidating here throughout the day in that triangle. Breaking that triangle to the upside could be two things. It could be the market makers playing retail that likes to follow these triangles. A lot of retail like to follow these triangles. They like to play the breakouts of the triangles. So this could be a fake out just to grab local liquidity, these two highs. And if we really start to reject, we would expect to at least, probably come take out this low or continue down to our more macro support below us, our more better confluence of support below us, being in that 72.7 to 72.3 area of support. But if we can actually start to break out of this, guys, I mean, I would expect new local highs to be coming in the range and potentially a pump up to 78K. But I do want to give a warning. As you guys saw the thumbnail today, we are seeing some pretty bearish signs on the chart. So if we zoom out to the daily chart, obviously on Tuesday, we made a new range high. And that means that we do have higher highs in the price action. It's not by much, but it is higher highs in the price action. And if we look at our momentum wave indicators down below, Market Cipher B is now confirming a lower high in the momentum wave. So we are seeing a daily bearish divergence here. Now, I've always said, especially with Market Cipher B, one drive of bear div will not overpower a bullish money flow. So if money flow can continue, if we get a nice green candle close today and money flow is able to continue to the upside, then it is likely we do come higher. But if we do, reject and close this candle red and that money flow starts to roll over here at the daily close, it would be confirmed bear divs on the daily with money flow topping out and starting to roll down. Now on NAMI is quicker than Market Cipher B, and you can see we have the bear divs as well on the daily time frame on NAMI, confirmed already. And if we do get another local high, we could even confirm a second drive of bear divs on the daily time frame. Money flow was looking pretty bullish as we've been pumping from 65K up to new range highs, especially since last Tuesday. What was that? April 7th. Our money flow had started to look really strong, really good. But you can see that on NAMI, the money flow is topped out and is now starting to curve to the downside. So with that, with both the Market Cipher B and NAMI printing bear divs, showing some signs that money flow could be topping out and we could be rolling over soon, I just want to give a warning that we might just come up to make one more high. Even if it's in the SFP of Tuesday's highs, everyone's going to get hyper bullish that this is actually going to break out and we could start to roll over here. It's not confirmed yet, and we really are still on the higher time frames, or like on the intermediate time frames. If we go to the 4-hour chart, we still are in bullish market structure, making highs, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. And so far with this morning's low, it is still a higher low. That means we could remain on the medium-term time frames with a bullish bias, expecting this push up to continue. Now, on the smaller time frame bias, we did break market structure bearishly locally, but right now we have a confirmed 3-wave move down. And I'm saying it's confirmed because we are breaking market structure bullishly on like that 12-minute, 15-minute time frame. Another thing to look out for, though, guys, because this move up, market structure is king. We always watch market structure for the overall momentum and trend. But we are seeing the warning signs, absolutely seeing them. You can see multiple drives of bear div coming in here. If we got one more high and we did top out again on another lower high of bear divs, and we see that money flow starting to curve to the downside, potentially crossing into the red maybe tomorrow or, probably about tomorrow or maybe till next Monday. Now, on NAMI, we do have those regional bear divs that are developing between this high and this high. And you can see the money flow bear divs that have developed on NAMI as well. And NAMI's money flow is just crossing into the red. You can see down here on the bottom, we just crossed into the red on money flow. And in the bullish scenario, it's going to be a fake out. And we're going to be able to pop right back up in there. And we want to see that money flow start to rise up pretty rapidly here. This is really a major decision point for Bitcoin, guys. This whole week has been a major, as soon as we took out the range highs on Tuesday, game on. Like Ryan said, it's game time. It's game time decision point for Bitcoin. Is this just going to be a completed impulse? 1, 2, 1, 2. You get your 3 here. 4, 5, 4, 5. Is it over with? And now are we about to start to push down really aggressively? Or do we do have another alternative count on this push up from 65K where we have a wave 1, we have that flat right here in a wave 2. Then you have another wave 1, another wave 2, another wave 1, and another wave 2. And you have to classify this third one as another 1, 2 because there's overlap between these highs and those lows. So if we are going to count this potentially as a triple 1, 2 impulse, this is your third wave where there's a gap between the highs and the lows. It's a small gap, but there is a gap. So right now, that would have to be the highest probability of the third wave would be the push up from Tuesday, April 7th. Then we got the pullback in a 4. We got our 5. We got another 4. We got another 5 this Tuesday. And if this is a confirmed 3-wave move down, then that's our third 4, and we need one more 5 as well. So it's very important what happens locally within this range. And that low this morning that we made, I was expecting a breakdown a little bit lower. I wanted to see a breakdown a little bit lower. I was actually planning on longing this potential area, even for a scalp long, that $72,500 area for a potential long. But we didn't get it. We just took out the liquidity of the range lows, and we were able to kind of push back up inside the volume profile. Now you can see what happened is after we took out the liquidity this morning, we took out some liquidity. We were able to push back up into the volume profile, even breaking above the POC and the VWAP for a bit. And then we saw that rejection on another lower high. This was a lower high compared to this high. So it was still remaining with bearish market structure. So at least locally from yesterday's golden pocket rejection, you still had to have the bias locally of more downside. But we came down. We were able to hold the bullish backtest of that value area low. And if you deviate from a volume profile, you're able to get back inside that volume profile, and then you backtest the value area low and hold it as support. You do have a pretty high probability of working your way up to value area high, which is what we did literally right before the stream started. And if we can start to break out of this value area high, I do think that this corrective move is probably in, and we probably are going to see one last push up to take out Tuesday's range highs, and maybe we'll see an extended wave 5 to end it. At the end of these big impulsive structures, and I'm talking about the impulsive structure from 65K, oftentimes you will see that in that last ending part be an extended ending part, like an extended 5th wave in there. So could we see an extended 5th wave coming in here up to 78K or maybe even up to 82K, guys? Like if we could see that. And with the daily bear divs, the 4-hour bear divs, I believe we had 8-hour bear divs as well. With all these bear divs confirming 8-hour bear divs, 8-hour bear divs coming in here, with all these bear divs confirming, if we do get one last aggressive push to the upside, either to 78 or 82K, it could give us a really nice swing short opportunity from these areas. And of course, I would want to see that money flow really starting to top out and roll over as we're coming up to either one of these key areas. So welcome in, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. And Bansbell, if you remember in the last stream on Tuesday, you asked me a very nice, important question. And you asked me like, so what we're looking for from the SFP range high rejection, what we're looking for is, you said we want to see an impulsive move to the downside, a 5-wave move to the downside to start the dump. And if it was a 5-wave move to the downside, then it would be more likely that this entire impulse was done and that we're going to get a 5-wave move in a wave 1, a 3-wave corrective move in a wave 2, followed by that big wave 3, and then 4, and then 5. And it was likely that we would take out the 65K lows and potentially even come down and take out the 60K lows. But so far, what we are seeing, and I also let you guys know on Tuesday, if we see a 3-wave corrective move, and we're overall especially holding the bullish market structure, then we have to remain with the bias of new range highs. And with what is happening right now on the charts, it is affecting the probabilities of a bearish scenario playing out. Earlier today, it looked like we could have got a pretty nice bearish scenario. And the key lows, guys, these lows here, I showed it in yesterday's video, but these lows are hyper important lows at around $70,500. There is a lot of liquidity resting below those lows. Let's just go look at the 2-week chart here real quick. Come on here. A lot of liquidity resting below those $70,000 range lows. But we also know that is where a couple different things are. As far as our pitchfork trading goes, that is where our pitchfork band, which has kind of been acting as resistance, was finally flipped to support and was held as support down here. But also, if we look at that 2-month long range value area high, now it is shifted up a little bit in the last few days. But if we look at, let me get this guy, not that guy. Here we go. If we look at the value area high, now our current value area high is coming in around 71.5. But as we were back testing this area down here, the pitchfork band down here, our value area high was a little bit lower. So if I pull this back to that current price action, you can see that the value area high was right around $70,900. So it was a very important support. And if you remember from last Tuesday, I have been locally bullish to take out the range highs from last Tuesday and for this impulsive structure to not be complete and to continue pushing to the upside, because we were breaking out of the value area high with high volume, because we were breaking above the pitchfork band with high volume. And if we were back testing and we were holding on the back test. So that meant we were at least expected, as soon as we held the bullish back test here, we were expected to make new local highs. And we did. We had that contracting diagonal in here. We made new local highs. We pulled back again, but we were able to maintain bullish market structure. We came very close to taking out the lows, but you can see very clearly here last weekend, we did not take out those lows. So maintaining bullish market structure, maintaining support, maintaining what used to be resistance now being flipped into support, meaning we were likely to come up and take out those range highs. And I remember Tuesday morning in the Telegram, I posted to you guys when we were way down here that it's likely we see a quick move up on New York Open to take out those range highs. That is what happened. And now what's important to understand is analyzing the price action after taking out the range highs. So far, I have to say Bitcoin is looking pretty good here. We do have the potential of a fake out of that triangle and a rejection from the value area high, which is where we're at as we speak. Let's just zoom in onto the 5-minute chart. Let's take a look at this. Yeah, we want to really, I would not like to lose the VWAP right now. Sure, could we see a little pullback to VWAP? That would be acceptable to me, because you grab some liquidity, a scalp short opportunity to come down, hit VWAP. But if we lose VWAP, then I'm going to start getting concerned that we're going to see a full rotation to take out the low here from earlier today, and honestly probably come down to those 72.5 zone. Now, zooming out to the 15-minute chart, if we're looking at so far the move down that we've seen from Tuesday's high, I would say that there is a contracting diagonal in here for a wave one that can be counted as a motive wave. We do have a pretty nice 3-wave corrective move up. You could even say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This does look like it could be a 5-wave impulse, and you do have the one problem with that, and I wouldn't say it's overlap, but you do your highs from your wave 1 here and your lows from your wave 4. You could see you did have it touch right here. Just barely, but it did touch. But overall, what we're looking at here in a more bearish scenario, let me just zoom out a little bit here. In a more bearish scenario, you still could be building some 1-2s in here. 1, 2, 1, 2. You get that kind of channel that forms in here. And then your 3 breaks down aggressively. And I would expect the 3 to at least take out your $70,000 lows. And then you get maybe a 4 or 5. And that's your first leg of your bigger daily impulse to the downside that could take out 70K or 60K, excuse me. Let's actually do this right now. I want to throw on our descending channel here. Yep. All right. And let's see if we can't get that break out of this channel. If we break out of this channel, I'm pretty much confirming with high probability that this was a 3-wave corrective move and that we are coming to take out these range highs. If we reject here, remember, this is the top of the channel. This is also the value area high of the range. It is hyper important to understand what happens right now during this live stream. And we will be here to look at it, guys. We will be here to kind of analyze this price action throughout the next hour or 2 hours. So, all right, let me check the chat here. Welcome in, everybody. R Pink, much love to you, man. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate all the hard work you do always. You're always here on every stream, super supportive. Thank you for everything, R Pink. Society Exempt, time to unstake some stable coins this weekend. Yeah, guys, do I think the bear market low is in? No, I don't. Do I think, let me just go ahead and get to a different chart here real quick. And remember, we're going to talk about that bigger possibility that we were seeing of the bear market kind of what's happening in the bear market. Let me go ahead and hide this guy here. And if you remember, we were looking at two different scenarios at first from the all-time high. We were looking at that wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and this extended fifth wave. But within the extended fifth wave, we didn't see 5 waves yet. We saw like a 1, 2, 3. We wanted to see a rejection here for 4, and we wanted to continue down for 5. But because this range has lasted so long, it highly lessens the probabilities that we're in a 5-wave impulse down. Now what becomes a greater possibility is that we're in a larger WXY to the downside. Now, in a WXY correction, you see it's a series of 3-wave moves. So you'd have a 3-wave move in a W, you'd have a 3-wave move up in an X, and then you're looking for another 3-wave move down in a Y. And it kind of overall creates that zigzag correction. But instead of the difference between a WXY and an ABC correction, in an ABC correction, you see a 5-wave impulse in your A, you get the 3-wave corrective move up in a B, and then you get another 5-wave impulse in a C. Overall, they still make the same 3-wave zigzag corrective structure, but in the ABC, you see 5-3-5 instead of 3-3-3. Now, if we're looking at our move up, move down from the all-time high, we do see a pretty clear 3-wave corrective structure in the W. We do see a pretty clear 3-wave corrective structure in the X. Now, within the Y wave is important, and oftentimes that Y wave can end really aggressively, right? If it's a sharp zigzag, which I would consider this to be a sharp zigzag. But within the Y wave, you do not really have a clear 3-wave corrective move unless you're counting this little running flat that we saw this week right here as your like small corrective move up before the last push down. So if we have this nice kind of semi-symmetrical W, we have a nice semi-symmetrical X, and you're looking at this being the Y wave where the 60K was the macro low, and now we're going to blast off here. I mean, that as a Y wave just doesn't really add up symmetrically with the W and the X wave. And you do want to see that symmetrical kind of alignment. Now, on the other hand, if the Y wave is not in yet, and we're seeing this is the first leg down in the Y wave, we're in our corrective move up, which could come up to 82,000, which could come up to our golden pocket, which is around 82,000. It could even come up to the 786, which is going to be around 87,000. And then we get that net last push down to end your Y wave, maybe hitting into that very important $58,000 support level. And it would be the bottom of this pitchfork. That could be the bear market low, where then you're expecting a motive wave to the upside and eventually to take out your all-time highs. So I am still looking for a lower high overall, but now because this range is ranging so much and we're breaking range highs, we're seeing another push up from holding the value area low at $65,000. It is a probability that we could see a pretty decent probability, I would say, that we could see a move up into the $80,000 area. The big thing that happens on these ranges is when you come up and you get the swing failure pattern of a macro range high, and then you start to impulse down, even if it's a small intraday 5-wave impulse there. That would tell you that, hey, man, we're not going to get up to 80K. The highest probabilities is that this was a double top and we're about to crash back down. So far, as we just diagnosed on the lower time frames, that is not the case. We are still maintaining bullish market structure in this push up. We are still maintaining, we do have some bearish signals, sure, bearish warning signs that could be very disturbing, or could give us, once we do finally top out, it could give us an aggressive crash. But right now we are not seeing anything but warning signs. We're not seeing market structure change yet. And I would like to see that market structure change, or a micro 5-wave impulse to the downside. And so far we're not seeing that. Now remember, in this corrective move here, if we're looking at the ABC correction, right? Remember what I said about an ABC. It's a 5-wave impulse in an A, or some sort of motive wave in an A, followed by a 3-wave corrective move in a B. It could be an ABC or a WXY, followed by another 5-wave move or an impulsive move in a C. You have your A, B, C. So ABC, right? Impulse, correction, impulse. Now, in this move here, this current range of the past 2 months that we've been in, 2.5 months, there is a valid count for a motive wave from 60K in a contracting diagonal. I've shown you guys that many times. You can see a contracting diagonal here that is valid. In our move down in a B, you can see very clearly you get that 3-wave corrective move ending on support of the value area low. There was also a weekly level and a golden pocket down there. Very important support. We were looking for longs down there. And then in your C wave, the most common target for an ABC is to come up between the 1-to-1 and the 1.236 Fibonacci extinction. Well, where is your 1-to-1 Fibonacci extinction? It's also going to be at your golden pocket. If you pull a golden pocket retracement from 98K to 60K, and you put it based off log scale, because this is a 33% drop or 32.5% drop. So you do want to be using log scale. It's a 38% drop, excuse me. You do want to be using log scale. And if you put on that golden pocket, let me just go ahead and pull that for you guys right now, from that 98K high to the 60K low. And we make sure that it's on log scale. If it's not on log scale, you can see that the golden pocket's between 83 and 84. But when you shift that to log scale, because it is more than a 30% drop, you can see it shifts your golden pocket to the proper 61.8% retracement between $81,000 and $82,500. So this area, and it's also the bearish backtest of your large multi-cycle pitchfork band. It is also your 1-to-1 Fibonacci extinction target for this being an A, B, C correction. So what we've been really trying to diagnose over the past couple of weeks is this move up. Is this a C wave? Is this an impulse? And yes, we do know that this is most likely classified as a double 1-2 or a triple 1-2 impulse that had the potential on Tuesday of being done with and rolling over, but it also, we do have an alternative count where we could come higher. Now, in an ABC correction, a sharp zigzag ABC correction like this, it is very common to take out your A wave highs with your C wave. It is very uncommon to not take it out. Now, the minimum target for your C wave, your most common target is between the 1-to-1 and the 1.236. Your most rare target, or your I guess minimum target, I would say, is to hit that 618 Fibonacci. So if we look at throwing that 618 Fibonacci on the screen here, like that's kind of where we're at right now, right? And we did wick on Tuesday. The reason why Tuesday could have been so bearish is because not only did we wick out the range highs from the A wave, so therefore you satisfied your probability of taking out the A wave highs, and we also hit at the same time your minimum C wave target move of that 618. That's why this could have been very bad and we could have rolled over aggressively. We still can, by the way. This is not, it takes time. We're on the daily time frame. It could take a week of chop in here before actually deciding whether we're going to go up or down. That's why this week is so important, guys. The close this week, the weekly candle close this week is going to be hyper important. The daily candle closes the last couple of days. As I've mentioned, we really don't want to lose this anchored VWAP again from 98K. And so far, we are holding above. So far, we are maintaining bullish market structure. Now, let me go ahead and move back to our Coinbase chart, and let's get onto the low time frames, and let's see if we can't get some breakout action here. The way Bitcoin is behaving now, I actually think that it is wanting to come higher. I do think we are going to want to come higher. Now, remember, from Tuesday's highs, contracting diagonal in an A, 3-wave move up in a B, you have your C down here. You could, 1, 2, this is probably 3, 4. I mean, I haven't even looked at that because we just saw this drop this morning. But it looks, let's suffice to say, if you're just looking at the chart with your eyes, this is most probable to be a 3-wave kind of flat corrective move, right? And because we're breaking market structure locally by taking out some local highs, it means that it could be a confirmed low on a 3-wave corrective structure. And now we're going to see an impulse to the upside. So if we're going to see an impulse to the upside right now, we have to diagnose the low from this morning. And what we would like to see right now is not another smaller three-wave corrective move and reject here and roll over, or even coming up a little bit higher, taking this liquidity and rolling over. We would want to see a very aggressive push in a wave 3 right now, like as this bounce from the channel midline and from your value area low was happening this morning. Well, that is your wave 1, your wave 2. We want to see, wave 1, wave 2. We want to see this continue breaking up in a wave 3. We do not want to reject from taking this liquidity, and we want probably this wave 3 to take out Tuesday's highs. We want to see it continuing up to take out Tuesday's highs. And we can actually pull a trend-based Fibonacci extinction from today's lows to the highs, internal highs down to that higher low. And we want to put on that 1.618 target. So you would see that your third wave would be expected to end around 76.6. Now that's only the third wave of the impulse. You still need a 4-5 after that, right? So we would be expecting probably to come up to 78K, because once, there's not much to keep us from coming up to 78K. Therefore, right now, we want to see some increasing volume on a breakout of this value area high and of this descending channel that has been developing since Tuesday. Descending channel, corrective move. When you break out of a channel, you often will sweep the liquidity of the entire channel, meaning sweeping the liquidity of the range highs. If this is going to be kind of a fake out right now, guys, and we are about to start to roll over, it could get I would expect to at least roll back down to the bottom of the channel and to that support around $72,500. And the other thing we got to watch out for is this three-wave corrective move coming just a little bit higher to grab liquidity and then falling back inside. Because if we fall back inside the value area high after taking liquidity, then it's just another fake out. Let's actually look at, we can now pull our trend-based Fibonacci extinction and look at our corrective targets, right? So corrective target, yeah, I would be very cautious, guys, of coming up and hitting into like 75.5, 75.6, grabbing the liquidity from yesterday. And then if we fall back inside, so if we do this right now, hit here, SFP that high from yesterday, and then fall back inside your value area high, that is going to be a bad sign, meaning lower. Not guaranteed, highest probability would be lower. Okay, Sudeep, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. Much love to you, and thank you for modding. Okay, let's see here. Solana dubsuit. Okay, I do want to cover Solana. Let me, guys, give me just a second. I gotta get I left my water bottle or my cup out in the other room real quick. So give me about 20 seconds to grab that. I really need to get a drink right now. All right. Sorry about that, guys. So, Solana, we will cover Solana. So, yes, if you guys remember on Tuesday's live stream, towards the end of the live stream, I told you on Solana that I'm only interested in taking two positions on Solana. We've been ranging within this 2-month-long range, 2.5-month-long range, and we were really struggling at the POC and the anchored VWAP, really struggling there. But what I wanted to see, for me, the two possible trade zones was going to be the value area high into the golden pocket, right around where we're at right now, $89.67 to about $91, or the value area low and a different golden pocket at around $80.55 or so. Now it looks like we are coming up to resistance first. Let's see, as we're coming up into this resistance, I want to go to the 4-hour time frame. Are we seeing no local bear divs? Now your stochastic RSI and RSI are starting to come together in the oversold region. NAMI is showing bear divs between these two highs, right? You can see the bear divs potentially forming. And we also have confirmed bear divs on the 4-hour here. So for me, just with what I'm seeing right now, I would attempt a possible short if we start to reject from this area. I would like to come up a little bit higher and actually hit the $90 mark. You see we have a fair value gap in here that would, if we came up to 90, would pretty much fill that fair value gap. Now, if we start to break out of this, guys, the really crazy thing with altcoins is, and let me just check Bitcoin dominance here, because yeah, Bitcoin dominance rejecting from the value area high. If you guys remember on Tuesday's live stream, I told you that it was most probable that the Bitcoin dominance would continue up to our value area high. Now, this range has been going for like 4 months on Bitcoin since August. So 8 months almost, you know, and we've just been ranging, rejecting from value area highs, coming down to value area lows, bouncing, rejecting from value area highs, seeing a little bit of liquidity grabs, you know, grabbing some liquidity, grabbing liquidity. Now we're making a higher low here. But with this rejection happening on Bitcoin dominance and with us starting to lose the POC of the range, altcoins could really explode here. We could see a rotation. And if we just pull our golden pocket real quick of this last move up, yeah, golden pocket, and let me make sure that's not on log scale. Wow. I mean, yeah, we could see a pretty aggressive move on the altcoins to the upside if we're seeing Bitcoin dominance crash. And as far as USDT dominance, we know that when USDT dominance is going down, that means the altcoins are going up. People are taking money out of USDT and putting it into the crypto market. So with USDT dominance now starting to lose the value area low of this range, it is likely that we're going to come for the range lows here. And coming into that 382 in that daily, like I showed you guys on last Tuesday, this is kind of the big support level where we might see a bounce on the Bitcoin dominance for that one last big move down on Bitcoin and the altcoins in the bear market. Because remember, let me zoom out to the daily chart here. On USDT dominance, we're looking for that impulse, right? In here, wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. You need your wave 4 to come down. Your most common targets are between the 382 and the 0.5 Fibonacci. Well, we still haven't even come down to the 382 yet. So if we can see a move down to the 382, bounce, then we could see Bitcoin USDT dominance finally take out that semi-equal high up here. That could be the end of the bear market up here. So I'm actually expecting that. I'm expecting this impulse to be the end of the bear market, and then we could start to see a nice bull market again on Bitcoin and the altcoins. Because remember, we want this chart to be going down. That most likely means that Bitcoin and the altcoins are going up. So locally, I would expect this to come a little bit lower to take out this low into your 382 and into your daily level. What that means for us locally is the altcoins and Bitcoin might be pumping. But because Bitcoin dominance is going down as well, that means the altcoins are going to be pumping against Bitcoin. So we could see a nice big breakout on some of these altcoins. All right, let me get back to Bitcoin for just a second here. I really want to take a look at, this is hyper important what's happening, guys. Let's set an alert right now on this yesterday's highs. Now, I just got stopped out, guys. I had my stop loss on that short trade from yesterday at $70,056. So I've been stopped out. I did make some profit on that. That was a winning scalp trade from yesterday. And I'm still in on a couple longs. Now, my main short from the SFP on Tuesday, I got in at like 75,846. So I took some profit on it, and I am going to get stopped out pretty much right at break even. I think I did 75,840 or something like that, just a couple dollars before my actual entry point. But I think now what we are seeing, guys, is this market structure that has been developing since yesterday, lower lows and lower highs. We're starting to break it to the upside. And let me just go ahead and even zoom in a little bit more here. I'm just going to take off this volume profile to unclutter the chart a little bit. And I want to take a trend line, and I want to just connect all these lower highs in here, kind of from yesterday. So you can see lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, wick above it, but lower high. And this was a little bit of a fake out above it. What just happened just now? Broke above it. back tested it, continuation. We're breaking out of the value area high of the range. So some really good locally bullish signs here, guys. Really good locally bullish signs for Bitcoin to continue to the upside. They just literally started this. This was a new development that started as the stream was starting. And as far as long opportunities, Roe, you asked about, where was that? I think I just saw that. All right, now BTC, greetings. Liam, welcome in. CJ, welcome in, you guys. Olga, welcome in. All right, what was that? 74,781 is the daily SR flip at the 100 moving average. I do see the daily bear divs, but I think we can break them based on the third. Okay, yeah, I mean, right now, you know, we are seeing warning signs, right? Daily bear divs, but our market structure has to be our main priority. And right now, market structure is remaining bullish. And the fact that this is now looking like it was a confirmed three-wave move, I do expect that it's likely we take out these highs. 99 RSI on the higher time frames. Yeah, higher day time frames. Yeah, so that means we could be due for it soon. Now remember, Bansbell, the RSI can stay oversold like that for many days at a time in those oversold time frames. So it doesn't mean that locally we can't continue up making new highs within the range, but we would have to just look for the next new highs that we make in the range could be the actual highs, right? If we're seeing those bear divs and RSIs overbought. Closes so long, I'm looking for the short. Okay, see Solana's going crazy. Solana dump soon. So when am I thinking to short Sol? Well, with what I just looked at right now, guys, we're in the short zone here, the short zone on Solana. But what I just looked at with USDT dominance dropping and with Bitcoin dominance dropping, it means the alts are going to be strong against Bitcoin in the overall market right now, right? The alts are likely to pump because USDT dominance is dropping, and they're likely to pump against Bitcoin because the Bitcoin dominance is dropping. So what am I looking for is this area is a pretty important area. Let me just zoom out to the 4 real quick. And if we don't reject from this golden pocket area here, I would really be looking also to come up to your 786 Fibonacci would be the next area because it's right around this liquidity. So that, and then it's also kind of going to be the back test of this pitchfork that we broke down from. This pitchfork range that we broke down from, I would expect to come up into this general zone. At the very least, I would expect to come up to there. $93 to $94, right? This zone in here, maybe like, would be the next short opportunity I'd be looking for. In between that, in between 90 and 93, 94, nothing. Look at, there's nothing in here. Let's check to see if we have any naked points of controls. This is the monthly. All right. We do have last month's naked monthly point of control right in this zone. Guys, this resistance that we're at right now is crucial. And I might be willing to take a short right now live during stream based off of the crazy resistance here. A naked monthly point of control is no joke. We have it inside a golden pocket and around a value area high. So yes, I know I just said altcoins are looking bullish by the fact that USDT dominance is dropping and Bitcoin dominance is dropping. But when we see those strong confluences of resistance, it should at least give us a scalp short opportunity, right? Okay, no naked weeklies. 91.63, we do have a naked weekly up there, but it's kind of in the middle of nowhere, so I wouldn't be studying that too much. Let's see, what about our naked dailies? Yeah, and this naked daily at 92.5 is so close to the liquidity of the highs that I would probably expect to come up and hit the 786 in liquidity. So you can pay attention to those guys, but for me, like, I'm looking for the, like, liquidity is probably the most important thing. And if we're going to continue within this sideways range, let me just take this pitchfork off the chart for a second so that it looks less confusing here. So we have a sideways range here on Solana. Now, remember, this support we were looking at for about a month. Literally, we marked it out way back in March 1st. We marked, actually, yeah, around March 1st, we marked this out. Even before then, actually, I think it was, because I don't really mark stuff out on Sundays too much. So took the liquidity of the lows, and there was a naked daily point of control at 76.7 right down here. So liquidity grab into a naked daily point of control. That's why this internal support was so important for me. And now we're breaking back inside the value area low. We're breaking back above. Finally today, finally seeing a true break above this POC that we've been chopping at for 2 weeks. It's been super annoying. So yes, you expected to come up to value area high. We are creating a nice little imbalance candle right now currently. And I would expect to at least come up to hit the naked monthly point of control at 90.1. Yeah, and then honestly, guys, if we break out of this value area high, like today's daily candle close, the value area high is at 89.37. Let's just say 89.4. If we close today's daily candle above this value area high, remember Bitcoin did it last Tuesday, right? Last Tuesday, Bitcoin closed a weekly candle above the value area high of the range. And what happened? We continued pumping to the upside. Well, first we had a low time frame drop to back test it, and then a back test, and then we pump. So we can just say Solana's a week behind on Bitcoin, right? So is Solana going to break out? I would want to see this actually continue here. Maybe reject from that 91.5 naked weekly point of control just to come down to back test that value area high and then continue up here. But if we close the daily candle on Solana above 89.4, we could say, hey, maybe we're going to sweep at least this liquidity and maybe even come up and make another new range high. And then actually, even looking at this right now, if I look at this, this looks very channel-y to me. Look at this channel structure that is being created here. So we can pull that. I'm going to just grab that channel right now. We'll look at taking this guy here, actually, and I would pull it to this high. Yeah, the top of the channel is going to be around the 786, but I don't like how the midline's being respected there. Let me give it one more variation where we would go from this low to this high here, and then I would bring it up to here. Yeah, I actually, this one is a little bit more respected here, guys. So I would say, look at the midline, way more respected on this channel. So I would say this is the proper channel to use. And then of course that naked weekly point of control is going to be at the top of the channel. So is that going to be an area where we do reject just to come back down to back test the value area high bullishly? So 91, let me get that right on. 91.64. So two scenarios I'm watching here on Solana. Rejection right now. You know, we could chop in here for a couple hours, guys. It's not like we have to do this and then this, right? Chop around, form a mini range on like the 5 to 15 minute in here for a bit and then roll over. Either that or break above it, reject from the top of the channel in the naked weekly, see a small corrective low volume move down to back test what used to be resistance, now being flipped to support, and continue up again. And then maybe we see another SFP into the highs of the channel. And if we fall back inside the volume profile, I would expect a rotation at least to wherever your golden pocket's going to be. And of course, that golden pocket would change because we'd be making new highs. I want to go in on to the 15-minute. Do we see bear divs here? We do see some greater, actually, not really. No, very, very locally. Some bear divs are forming, but look at that money flow. I am not going against that money flow right now. So yes, we're at resistance on Solana. I do want to take a short here, but right now I don't see enough. Let me go to the hourly chart. No bear divs. Potential for slight bear divs here. Let's see if we get a reaction in this zone, guys. We have time. We don't have to be impatient here. We'll have time to look at a potential rejection here. 5-minute market cipher showing some local bear divs, but money flow looks pretty strong, and NAMI's not really even showing local bear divs here. So for me, I don't see enough confirmation. Let's see if we get a reaction. We're coming up to that naked weekly as we speak. Sorry, naked monthly as we speak. And that naked monthly is probably the strongest level within this zone of the golden pocket, value area high, naked monthly point of control. Just built a scalp long on ETH. Okay, we'll look at ETH. We'll look at some of the altcoins too. Luciana, welcome in. Catch you live. Nice to hear you. I'm short from the high and long from the low. Both SFPs. Nice, man. So you're in a great schlong right now. Very cool. Do you think there's a place to get back into the long? So I assume you mean on Bitcoin. And for me, all right, if we're looking at this range from the past 3 days, if we want to get into a long, I mean, really earlier today, the SFP of the range low or the back test of the value area low was the best place to get in. But if we're going to get into a long, we could say maybe we come up to this 1-to-1, we reject, grab liquidity, and then we fall to back test kind of this channel and this value area high. You would have to be very, very careful, because if this is going to be a confirmed 3-wave move rejecting, you're likely to continue down. But let's just say we get a quick move down and we're holding here, and then we're going to continue up. It would all still be part of a third wave, right? Up to 75.6 or more. So you could possibly long on the bullish back test of the value area high and the channel. For me, your risk management, like let's say you're going to long that, right? You're going to long the back test here. You would have to put your stop below this wick here. And then you would be targeting at least that 1.618. So yeah, that's a good scalp, 4.5 to 1 risk reward ratio, but that would only be in this scalp. You would want to leave it open until your 5th wave. So this would possibly be the end of the 3rd wave. And then wherever your 5th wave is going to be, it's probably going to be right there, right? So that could still be a good scalp. Let's see if we get that opportunity during the stream today. The better trades were obviously this morning, these 2 lows in here this morning. But let's see. Maybe 91. Yeah. So Ryan, for Solana, that $91 area, 90 to 91, where we're at right now. We're seeing a little bit of a reaction from that naked monthly point of control. Let's go to the 1 minute here. Do we see, man? Okay. We are seeing slight bear divs on the 1 minute, but your money flow overall is still looking pretty strong here, man. Okay. For me now, yes, we're in resistance, but what I would want to see is at least a small little bit of a break here. Let me just pull this volume profile all the way. What I would want to see is a bit of a rejection. Maybe we lose the value area high and we come back up and try to get back above it, and then you start failing. So you could short here, because right now you're trying to short a rocket. And like, if you want to try to catch a rocket to the upside, be my guest, but like for me, I need a little bit of a reaction in this zone. Not like a 30-second reaction either. I want to see a couple 5-minute candles reacting. I want to actually see some sign of weakness in here. Okay. Yeah, this is a pretty nice live stream, insight into reality. It's awesome. Well, no, so yes, I did say dump incoming possible based off the bear divs, but we also talked about, if you actually caught the beginning of the stream, because this was more likely to be where am I at here? From the range highs on Tuesday. Let me get back to Bitcoin. From the range highs on Tuesday, because now this is more likely to be a 3-wave corrective move. We actually are still likely to get a new range high, but that doesn't mean that we can't dump afterwards. We're starting to see high time frame bear divs on the chart. So now locally, because we just broke bearish market structure, we are actually more probable to take out Tuesday's highs, but that doesn't mean a big dump isn't incoming, within the next couple of days here. I suspect it wouldn't happen over the weekend, so it'd probably be next week market open, or unless something geopolitically happens over the weekend. But it's absolutely still possible that we get the dump soon. I'm looking for shorts near the range highs, not longs, unless it's a scalp long. Yeah, Leo swipes. Solana's going crazy. I know, man. Let's see if we can get a breakout of that resistance, or let's see if we can't get a trade on Solana. It's all great. Take no risk. Thank you so much for the kind comment. as always, 59K or 54K still in play? Yes, I do. And I did actually explain that a little bit earlier in the stream as well. What we're looking for is that larger WXY correction, right? So, but the thing is, let me get to this chart. I just showed this early in the stream. So if you didn't catch that, you can go back and watch that portion of the stream. But we could move up to 82 to 85,000 before seeing a low come down to 60 to take out 60,000. And like 58,000 is that naked monthly point of control. It's like 57.9. On the Coinbase chart, you can see right here, it's about 57.9. Let me throw that on there. 57,889, and your anchored VWAP from the bear market lows also going to be right around there. But in the WXY, remember, we're still in the Y wave. The Y wave could come all the way up to the golden pocket first before coming down there. So that means that this move up could extend a little bit longer. Is Aave pumping right now too? I know a couple of the altcoins, we were really starting to see them push to the upside. BNB is another one, guys. I will look at Aave, but BNB is breaking. So I showed on yesterday's video, we had the potential to SFP the range highs here, or these internal highs here, hit the 618 and roll over, but we're continuing to the upside. We're continuing pushing. And remember, I've been looking on BNB. I want to try to go short on BNB up here at this major resistance area. So that is going to be at around 650-ish. What did I just delete? Yeah, we can delete that too. Okay, Bitcoin's crossing. Let's see what's happening. Bitcoin's grabbing that liquidity from yesterday's highs. Let's see if we get a liquidity grab here, guys. Remember, it's right at that 1-to-1. A lot of people could get hyper bullish here. And if we do see something like this, and then a fall back inside the volume profile, not good. To me, you do have some 5-minute bear divs. Your RSI and stochastic are pegged out right now on the 5-minute. 1 minute. Okay, you are starting to see some bear divs and money flow come down on the 1 minute. Bear divs on NAMI as well. What is our order flow doing? All right, so what we're seeing on order flow right now, guys, is this is a strong move to the upside. This is a strong, healthy move to the upside. So look at what we're seeing on our CVD. CVD increasing here. That means that market longs are stepping in. We know those are fresh market longs because your open interest is also increasing with them. So we are seeing fresh longs step in to push the price up. This could mean two things. If we get the SFP and rejection here, you're going to have all these longs that opened up in here as fuel for a big move to the downside, a quick big move to the downside. If the bulls can continue fighting, you are going to continue pushing up here and see a true breakout of your range value area high. Man, money flow looks pretty good here. Yes, we are potentially seeing the SFP right now into like that 1-to-1 target, right? We front ran it just barely, but it's pretty much there. Money flow on the 3 looks good. You do have bear divs. And let me check the hour. So the hour chart is going to be important. Is that money flow? Honestly, guys, it looks a bit ambiguous here, but you are getting an SFP as of now. Let's wait for this 5-minute candle to close in about 2 minutes. If this 5-minute candle closes, we might see a pullback here. And if we're looking for a short, let's just say we're going to short. Stop is going to go above the high. I would put it above the 1-to-1 actually. The target, so that's already a bad risk to reward ratio. But if this is a larger three-wave corrective move that's done, and then we're going to roll over, I would actually expect to come down to 72.5. So that would be the overall short premise for me. Shorting this with the TP1 probably at these internal lows and the value area low, the channel midline. TP2 would be down at 72.5, 72.3. Getting a nice little reaction here. We'll wait just about a minute. We do have some bear divs on the chart. Money flow is starting to drain out on the 1 minute chart. And if you guys remember about, what was it, 20 minutes ago, I talked about that's the one thing that we have to watch out for. Because when you break out of a channel, you have a very high probability of at least sweeping the second pivot of that channel. But oftentimes you'll sweep the liquidity of the entire channel. So we have now satisfied sweeping the liquidity of the second pivot of the channel. If this is going to be a fake out, this is where I would expect it. And then if you fall back in the channel, you can expect to move to the bottom of the channel, which would be that $72,000 golden pocket, 72.5. All right, so if we're going to look at a scalp short here, my overall TP would be at this golden pocket. I would put the stop above the 1-to-1. You're risking, so you have about a 0.35% stop loss, right? So you could risk like 3x your whole 3x your whole portfolio, and if you lose, you're going to lose about 1%. For those of you that don't know how to calculate that, I can run you through that real quick here. You're going to take whatever 1% of your portfolio size is. Like, we're generally risking 1% per trade as a day trader, right? You're risking 1% per trade. So say we have a $1,000 account. 1% of $1,000 is $10. So that's what you're risking per trade. That means if you get stopped out, you're going to lose $10. That's not what your position size is. That is what you're risking per trade. Now you're going to divide that by this stop loss percentage number, but because it's in percentage form, you got to move the decimal over 2 spots. So we do 0.00347. So $10 divided by 0.00347. You can put $2,881 on this trade. And if you get stopped out, you're only going to lose $10. Now our 5-minute candle is closed. I am actually going to, because I got stopped out just from yesterday's short, I'm actually going to enter this trade right now, guys. Remember, calculate it for your own portfolio size. You're the only one who knows what that is. Now, I'm okay on getting stopped out. I mean, I actually think there's a high likelihood we get stopped out here on this trade, but it is a valid entry here. And if we get stopped out on this, then what we can look at doing is we can look at entering the trend, right? If you do enter the trend, or even on this right now, I just entered the short here. So if we come down and we start to chop and bounce in here, I might look to take out like a little portion of it just in case I get stopped out to cover fees. And then we could potentially look to scalp the trend, right? The trend is your friend until the end. We could look to scalp the trend in this area. Chicken Salt, welcome in, man. Isaac Smile, welcome in. 5% isn't that amazing, but I'll take it. Yep, 5%. ETH, scalp long ripping. Yes, okay, let me check. We'll check ETH. I just want to stay here for just a second with Bitcoin, guys. I just want to see how this plays out. Wouldn't it be super bearish if we SFP the above POC? Yes, it would be Bansbell. It would be bearish if we SFP the POC and then close below. Yep, I agree. Mark Dutch, welcome in, my friend. What's up, buddy? It's good to see you as always. It's good to see you. Falcons Forge, welcome in. Okay, knocking out 75.4 at the door, market close. Yep, so let's see if we get this SFP. I just entered this. Honestly, guys, we might get stopped out on this one. And R Pink, thank you so much for posting those links in the comments. So guys, very quickly here, I want to take a second to shout out the partners of the channel. The main partner of the channel is BYDFI. They are a VPN and KYC free exchange. So all you need is an email and a password to sign up. If you do sign up using my affiliate link in the description, you can get a minimum of 20% discounts on trading fees, and you can actually earn up to 40% discounts if you deposit some large amounts into the exchange. They're offering up to $8,100 in additional futures trading bonuses. So what we're doing right now is we're trading on USDT derivatives contracts. So just by trading on the exchange, you can earn up to $8,100 in extra Bitcoin or USDT. And also they're offering some of the best initial deposit rewards in the entire industry. For instance, if you deposit $100, you can get a 50% bonus on that. They're giving 20% deposit bonuses up to $1,000, and then 10% deposit bonuses up to $20,000, which is double what most exchanges do. I partnered with BYDFI to create a Telegram community. It's a free community. It's a private community, but it is free. All you need to do to get into that Telegram community, where I try to keep you guys updated, try to let you guys know when I'm entering shorts or longs on Bitcoin, on the altcoins, all you have to do is join BYDFI using my affiliate link and deposit a minimum deposit of $100 or more into the exchange. That money is your money, guys. You're not paying it to me. You're not paying it to BYDFI. It's just your money you're depositing on the exchange in hopes that you will try it out and like the exchange. Once you've done that, once you've joined and deposited the minimum amount, you can click the Telegram link that RPink just posted in the chat, or it's in the description of this video. And in that Telegram verify channel, type in /verify and then your user ID, your BYDFI user ID, which will be right up here. It's probably going to be a string of letters and numbers for you guys. But /verify your user ID, and then you'll get put into the main Telegram, and once you're in, you're in. Second partner of the channel is Blowfin, and Blowfin is a non-KYC exchange that I partnered with, the second non-KYC exchange. They're offering VIP 1 for 30 days. If you deposit just $5, you can get a $10 voucher and some really good net deposit bonuses as well. You can see 20% on $100, 10% on $10,000. Then I have two KYC exchanges. They're MEXC and Bybit. Bybit's offering up to $30,000 in futures trading bonuses. MEXC is offering a 10% initial deposit bonus up to $1,000. And then lastly, the last partner of the channel is NAMI, which is this momentum and money flow indicator you see down here at the bottom of your screen. I use it for my entry confirmations on all my trades. So as we're coming up to a target of interest or down to a target of interest, I'm looking for bull divs, bear divs, money flow divs. And NAMI, when you do have proper confirmation to enter the trade, it's far more likely the trade plays out. So since I've been using NAMI and Market Cypher B for confirmations, my profit margins have drastically increased. And honestly, NAMI will pay for itself pretty much right away, depending on, you know, even if you're trading with a few $100s, NAMI can pay for itself pretty quickly. So if you're interested, I've partnered with NAMI to get you guys 50% off. So if you click the affiliate link in the description, and when you're checking out on their website, type in Divine50 in the discount code box, and you can get 50% off NAMI. Okay, guys, getting back to Bitcoin, it's looking like this is going to be a failed SFP. I'm not gonna exit the short. I am still short on this. Let's see. Looks like we're gonna get stopped out here. I did put my stop above the 1-to-1, right above this, like pretty much at 75.6 is where my stop is at. So it's looking like this is going to be a failed liquidity grab, but we still have a chance. What would be my short target on Solana? So if we're going to reject from this general zone on Solana, I would expect us to at least move down to backtest that POC that was causing us so much trouble. And that's your anchored VWAP as well. Around $85 would be a TP1 for that. Now we can readjust this golden pocket because we do have new highs now. So, and then, oof, that's a tough one. Let's get rid of this now. That's no longer really necessary. Yeah, if I'm going to short the value area high, the naked monthly point of control, and the golden pocket here, honestly, I would be expecting a rotation ultimately down to the value area low. But the thing is, you do have a golden pocket right before that with liquidity right around it. So I would be paying attention to that liquidity. And, but what I would personally want to see, oops, wrong one. I would want to see us grab this liquidity into the value area low. So you would wick past the golden pocket a bit, but we often do wick past the golden pocket a bit, but that would be kind of the zone to enter the short. Like I would probably wait enter the short. You know, your stop is going to go above that high. And I would be targeting ultimately the value area low of the range, somewhere in that area. And that would, I would leave some of it, because if we're going to reject this value area high, there is the potential we come take out, you know, some internal lows here. So I would be actually leaving some of it open to take out your $75 lows. Are we stopped out yet? Let's see here. Not stopped out yet. It's not looking too good for me though, guys. What did I just do? Yeah, money flow is starting to come back up. You know, we did have slight bear divs. Now, with an SFP, guys, the reason why I took this, I said we don't really have a lot of bearish confirmation. You know, you have 1 minute bear divs, you had 5 minute bear divs, but other than that, there wasn't a lot of bearish confirmation. With a liquidity grab, the way to trade a liquidity grab is when you wick above the level and then you start to close, you know, 5 minute, 1 minute, whatever your time frame you're looking at. Sometimes I'll wait for a 15-minute candle, but whenever you wick above and then start to close candles below, you enter. Whether you have bear divs or not, that's what a liquidity grab is, and that's the way you can trade a liquidity grab. Now, if you do have confirmed bear divs, it helps the probabilities that the trade will actually play out. That is actually how I got into the $76,000 short on Tuesday with these highs, wicking out these highs on Tuesday. Soon as you start to close candles below, you can enter that short. All right. Javier, Kyle, thank you, man. Thank you for being here, and appreciate the comment. If my balance is 1,000 USD, then I risk 500 at least. Whoa, well, Quiet Cozy Bliss, that is a dangerous game though, because if you make one mistake, you're liquidating 50% of your account, right? And then now you have to make, you know, when you only have $500, you have to make 100% just to get back to break even. So it, you know, it sucks. I understand if you have a small account, it sucks risking 1% because it feels like you're doing a lot of work for nothing, right? You're doing all this technical analysis. You're spending hours looking at the charts, and maybe you make $20, enough to buy yourself lunch one day. But it's about the process, right? Because if you can't turn $1,000 into 2,000, then how do you expect to turn 20,000 into 40,000 or whatever, you know, so and so. So it's really the process of good risk management that you want to develop. And especially if you're a newer trader, you don't want to be starting out with like $20,000 account and risking 10 grand every time, because you're bound to make mistakes when you're beginning your trading journey. So I would recommend the risk management or I would just caution that risk management is one of the highest priority things in trading. And you should always be focusing on that risk management. Okay. Yep, I took the short on BTC as well. I have not taken a short on Solana yet. I am interested in the short on Solana. But, all right, let's check USDT dominance. It looks like it still wants to continue down, guys, to at least take out this low in here. And actually, I do think we are going to come drop to that 382 Fibonacci, which is going to be around 7%, 7.1%. So let's say that the highest probability is that this market structure is going to continue to remain until you take out this low, because you're losing the value area low now pretty aggressively here. This also looks like it was a flat right here, flat. Take out your lows, then you take out your highs, and then you continue the impulsive structure. I'm hoping that Bitcoin will even get a small pullback right now. If we can get a small pullback, I would be looking to backtest that value area high. And if we come down and we start to bounce from this value area high, I might take out just enough to cover fees. So if I get stopped out, it's a break even. Because it does look like with USDT dropping, with Bitcoin dominance dropping, it does look like we could continue to see some bullish momentum come into play. So yes, we got the SFP here. Right now, we're still in the trade. We haven't got stopped out yet. I understand that if you're going to take profit here, that's like, why did you even take that trade, right? It's a 1-to-1 ratio there. But I would only be taking a little bit out to cover my fees if I get stopped out pretty much. Overall, I am still looking to potentially come down to $72,500, that general area. And at $72,500, we do have the golden pocket. It's our anchored VWAP. We have our previous range value area high there. Previous range value area high is there. There's also a naked daily point of control that's right in there as well. So that, yeah, mid to low 70s, let's say. Mid to low 72s, I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, Mark, it's good to see you in here, man. And it looks like you said you're heading south in the coming weeks. Okay. Is that south like into the States, or I think you're over in Belgium, right? Yeah. Very informative live. You earned my sub. Well, Leo Swipes, thank you so much for that, man. And welcome to the community. I do hope you guys do get something out of these live streams. And I appreciate all of your guys' support. Appreciate you all liking the video, subscribing to the channel. I'm trying to grow a really nice community here, a really good community of supportive community members that all support each other, that all look out for each other. And that's what the Telegram is about for me. I wanted to make it free so that we could get a lot of good people in there that like all kind of are throwing their ideas, throwing their different strategies on Bitcoin, on the altcoins out there, and kind of build a rock solid community where we all help each other scrape money from the market makers, right? We're all the retail traders. I don't care if you're trading with $1 million position sizes, you're still retail compared to market makers. So I'm trying to build a community where we work together to take money from the market makers every day and to build our own bags. Like that's really what I want to do. And, you know, I've been part of communities like that in the past. And I still am. I'm in Jason Casper's community. And I think that guy's got such an amazing community and he's such an amazing trader himself. And I want to build something like that. All right, guys, we're starting to see a little bit of a move down from that SFP. Let's see if we get the bounce right in this, right in this general area in here. If we can get a little bit of a bounce here, I'm going to get cautious. Now, the very first time we come down, we're probably going to see a couple seconds of a reaction. Of course we will. It's the first test of it. But I want to see if we actually start to find some support and we can actually come in on the 1 minute chart. And let's look at our 1 minute chart. Money flow is still coming out. We did see the bear divs there. You can see on NAMI, it's printing the bear divs for us. Money flow's crossed into the red. If we do start to bottom out here and that money flow starts to tick up, like just like what we're seeing right now, this is a little bit of a warning sign for me. And I want to look at our open interest here. Let me go to the 1 minute chart. All right, let's get rid of this. So really what we've seen, yeah, we saw shorts coming in, guys. Actually, this is including myself, but you can see here on the 1 minute chart, as soon as we wicked that high and SFP'd it, shorts have been coming in for the past 10 minutes. A majority of those shorts are fresh short positions. So we are seeing some shorts step in on that liquidity grab. This is either going to be really good or really bad, because if the bulls can maintain strength and bounce from this value area high, then all these shorts that just entered, including myself, are going to get stopped out, which is going to cause a stopping out of a short as a market buy. It's going to cause this thing to keep pumping. If the bears can take control now, then we will probably see those shorts being successful in pushing the price down, and that's when we could see a bigger squeeze of all the longs that opened in here. Because remember, we did see a lot of longs opening in here, and we saw a lot of longs opening in here if we look at our open interest. So it's a battle. Right now, it's a battle right here. Let's see what happens. I'm going to hide this trade for a second so that we have a better chart. Yeah, Rui, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you as well. Yes, I do use the CoinGlass liquidation heat map. So this is the 2-week chart. We were looking at this earlier at around 70,500 is our big liquidity cluster. Let's go to just today's price action, actually, past 24 hours. I mean, we still do have liquidity resting above the highs, but it looks like a lot of that liquidity came in just now, guys. Earlier before, we did have some obvious liquidity resting from yesterday's highs, but you can see how this liquidity just starts right now. It's not pushing back to here. So a lot of people just entered that SFP, and obviously their stops are above the high that we just made. So we see some fresh liquidity just above us. And that could cause that bit of a, we could get that big squeeze up if we do start to bounce from this area. So this is going to be key right now. What happens here is going to be really key right now. Overall, remember, we talked about this at the beginning of the stream. You did take out your range lows earlier today with an SFP of those range lows, and then we were able to break back inside the volume profile, back test the value area low, back test the channel midline. So we expected to at least come up to value area high. We're also breaking market structure by breaking these lower highs in here. That's a bullish sign. But in a 3-wave corrective move, if this is just a 3-wave corrective move, your most common targets are between that 1-to-1 and that 1.236. And look at what happened. We pretty much came up to the 1-to-1, grabbed liquidity into that 1-to-1. So if we do start to fall back inside of this channel and this volume profile, it could get ugly where we come down and hit the bottom of the channel. So right now, live, while we're looking at this fight that is going to occur here is important. If it holds, I expect this to come up and take out our range highs from Tuesday. Simple as that. If it doesn't hold, I expect us to dump at least to 72.5. Dogan, thank you so much for the kind comment. I appreciate that, man. I'm definitely not the best, but I do my best in here to give you guys accurate information on, based off my knowledge, based off my experience in here. And I mean, we just have a great community, man. We have such a great community in here. So I appreciate all of you guys. Netherlands. Okay, from the Netherlands down to Belgium. Wow, that's awesome, Mark. Are you doing vacation, or is it more of a business thing, work thing? Like, that's really awesome. You're getting to travel like that. I've never been to Austria or Croatia, but I know there's really beautiful nature there. You sent 2 chats earlier. Okay, I didn't see those. CJ, and I know you said never mind, but if you repost it, I'll try to look for that and see that. Okay, it is very helpful to have you talk through. Awesome. Well, Teal House Coffee and Bakery, I'm glad it's helpful to be talked through it like this. So even though I wasn't very confident on this SFP, I took it because we did have the confirmation, right? Now, what is important here is what is about to happen when we start to backtest this general area. Because right now it's looking like, honestly, to me, it looks like we're going to keep going. Yeah, crypto is my work. All I have is my car and my electric bicycle. Nice, man. So you like to is traveling what you do for the most part? Just travel the world and explore. That sounds really awesome. And if you do, you probably don't have kids, right, Mark? I mean, of course you can always travel with kids, but I understand that's a lot harder than if you're on your own. Okay. Started traveling at the beginning of the year. Awesome, man. That's really cool. Just taking some time to explore the world. Kids are overrated. Man, let me tell you. No, I love, you know, it's, to me personally, it's the greatest thing that ever happened to me. It did make me grow up a whole lot. And I definitely wouldn't be where I'm at if I didn't have kids, you know. But yeah, at times I you know, you definitely have a commitment now. You guys know that a lot of the time when I have to leave the live stream, it's because of I got to go pick up my kid or go, you know, do something with the kid, you know, be involved in their life, I'll say. So definitely you do have some freedom when you don't have kids around, some more freedom. I wouldn't change it for the world, though. Get rid of this. Man, it's really looking like this is not going to work out. Now, I will say this does look kind of corrective, and look at money flow still coming down here, and it looks like your momentum wave wants to blow out here. You can see on NAMI, it's already starting to blow out. So I am expecting us to at least come a little bit lower to hit that 75,094 value area high. Let's see if we can't get that little bit of a roll down. Oh, awesome. 3 daughters, man. And yes, I understand that completely, Mark. You'd do anything for them. That's very cool. And in some ways, that's a sweet setup for you, right? You can go hang out with the kids. Like being an uncle is great because you can hang out with the kids when you want to, you know, bond with them, enjoy that time. And then you can go off on your own and do your own thing. So I have a brother, and he always tells me that with my kid. He doesn't have any kids himself, and he's like, man, I love it because, you know, I can kind of have my kid through living through you, and then when I want the freedom, I can go do that too. All right, let me check Solana. Let's see how Solana is doing. All right, Solana is starting to see. So remember, Ryan, I said I wanted to see a little bit of consolidation and a bit of a reaction here. We're starting to get that reaction now. Now, what's going to be important, just like with Bitcoin, we're breaking above the value area high. So if we come down immediately and start to bounce in here and make another even local high, I'm going to be hesitant on taking the short. But if we start to chop in here for a bit and even like start to play around with losing that value area low, or excuse me, value area high, then I would possibly enter a short. And remember, this short that we're entering on Solana, if we enter this short, I'm actually looking for this to be a pretty big short position on Solana that could come down pretty aggressively. At least I would be expecting to come down to backtest that POC. So haven't taken it yet, but it is the zone right now where we definitely want to expect that short. And if we start to consolidate in here, continue to see some bearish momentum, then that's when we can enter that short somewhere in this local position and then start to look to take it down as a TP1 at that POC and hold some open for much, much lower, right? Yeah, Teal House Coffee and Bakery, I'm with you, and I'm in that boat with you. And you started to trade with your son. That is so awesome, Teal House Coffee and Bakery. You know, I think this skill is a skill, especially with the way the economy is today, with the way like entry-level jobs are for teens and for young adults. I really think that this is a skill that they should learn, and they could build something where they never actually have to work a day in their lives, right? They could have the freedom that they want to have as those young Gen Z, and I don't even know what the next generation after Gen Z is, like what, Gen Alpha or something like that. But yeah, that's awesome that you're teaching your son that skill. I think that is a really smart thing to do. And I've also been trying the same, but I have stubborn kids. Okay, let me check Bitcoin. There we go. All right. So starting to see a bit of a reaction here, guys. Let's see what happens in this zone. Now, remember, if we start to fall back inside the channel, that is going to be a big warning sign for me that we could see a pretty aggressive move down to take out even today's lows. And especially if we change market structure. So this is only the 3-minute time frame, but this low rate in here at 74,753, if we start to break market structure, even on the low time frames, then I would be expecting that we could see a move all the way back down to the value area low of the range, which is going to be around your channel midline. And then potentially, because this was a 3-wave move up, we could take out the low from earlier today. Right now, we are getting a reaction in our support zone. Let me go to the 1 minute real quick. All right, no bull divs, but we are starting to see the momentum waves bottom. Okay, big green dot on the 1 minute. I'm going to pull out, guys. I'm going to pull out just a little bit of profit, just enough to cover the fees, just in case I get stopped out. All right, there we go. I am also going to move my stop loss. Well, actually, I'm not going to move my stop loss yet. I'm not going to move my stop loss to break even yet. Dang right, Sudeep. Dang right. Especially after having kids, you got to pull out, right? No more kids for me, man. All right. It's alpha after Z. Okay, cool. Do you think that trading is a little bit gambling? Dogan, that's a really good question. So in some ways, we do not know what the market is going to do. So in terms of that, it's gambling, but it's, in my opinion, there's a difference between trading and gambling, because the most important thing in trading is risk to reward ratio, right? And here's the thing. Look at this chart here. So if you're taking just 1 to 3 to risking 1% to make 3%, so a 1 to 3 RR, you can actually lose 70% of your trades and only win 30% of your trades, and you can still be profitable over time. So in some ways, it's gambling based on, we don't know what the price is actually going to do, but we do know that trading is based off human psychology. That's why when you see liquidity grabs or golden pockets, oftentimes will give us a bounce, because it's a key psychological level ingrained into the human consciousness. And if you're taking the proper risk to reward ratio, then it's less of gambling and it's more of a educated risk system to make money, right? And so that's why risk to reward ratio is the most important thing in trading. And like, guys, a lot of the time, if you see a trader that says they win 100% of their trades, run the other way, because I guarantee you they're lying to you, or they've figured out, like, if they were winning 100% of their trades with compound interest, you could be a millionaire and a billionaire in a couple of years, right? So the thing is it's about slowly building an account, right? Like when you have a small account, let's just say even $1,000, right? Everything starts out slow in that exponential growth curve. And as you build, as you're making 1% a day, I think for me, the goal as a day trader is to make 1% a day. But as you're starting out with a little bit amount of money, you're taking proper risk to reward ratios. You're doing a whole lot of work in here, hours upon hours upon hours, weeks upon weeks, to build that account from $1,000 to $2,000. It's arduous. It's slow. You feel like you're doing a whole lot of work for a whole little bit. But as you start to build that account up and you're compounding that profit back into your account, you start to hit into that $10,000, $20,000 area. And then that's when 1% a day is decent, right? You're starting to make 1% a day there, 5% a week or so. You know, sometimes you have weeks where you make 10, 15%. Sometimes you have weeks where you'll make 2% or even be in the red. But over time, you're building that exponential growth based off of compound interest there. And then when you start to get into like 150, 200K position sizes and you're making 1% a day, all of a sudden now you're making $1,000, $2,000 a day. That is when you really can live off of it and you can start to build real wealth off of it. So it takes time and it takes patience, especially in this part of the trading journey. It takes a lot of time and patience to get that done. But if you can be disciplined, if you can, first of all, I recommend everyone learn a strategy that works. You know, for me, I use Market Cypher B and NAMI for confirmations, and I mark out levels based off volume, based off of liquidity based off Pitchfork's channels and Fibonacci's. And I use Elliott waves a little bit too. So find a strategy that works for you. Learn discipline, because discipline is one of the greatest things in risk management. If you do not have proper discipline and you're FOMOing in, you know, I guarantee you, maybe even in this video, I don't want to say that for sure, but maybe even, I know there was people who were FOMOing in right here, somewhere in the market today, just now. Actually, we know that based off of our open interest. Look at this. Open interest was increasing in this little last push up. Open interest was increasing. We were seeing longs enter right into liquidity resistance. I mean, right into your value area high of your range. You were seeing longs entering. It's not smart to enter into a resistance, even if you think it's going to explode up. You want to have good risk management. So, and that's why when Rui asked me earlier, can we still catch a long? Well, yes, we can, but we have to have proper risk management. So actually, for instance, Rui, you asked about that, and I said this would be the place to enter a scalp long. If we're going to get that bounce, this is going to be the place, right? We're breaking out of the volume profile, grab some liquidity, get a little bit of a pullback. If this holds, I would expect to take out your range highs at the very least. Your 70, what is that? Let me just mark that out. Your 76, 127 highs. So let's look at a potential scalp long in here. First off, let's pull our golden pocket from that last internal low to the high that we just had. We're inside the golden pocket right now, okay? Inside the golden pocket, you're at the value area high, you're at your channel support. So let's just wait. For me personally, and I actually might enter this scalp long with you guys here right now to hedge against the short that I just took. So I'm short from the highs. I could be long from these internal lows. But let's say we do look for a long position right now from this little area. What I would wait for is I'd wait for the reaction, the bounce, and I would wait until we actually got above the golden pocket at 75.053. Then I would long it. I would enter market long. I would be putting my stop below wherever that wick went. Wherever that little wick went, I would put my stop below it, and I would be targeting taking out your $76,000 highs. I mean, that could be a super good scalp trade. We don't have proper confirmation right now for that. We haven't bounced from the golden pocket and got above it yet. And actually, if you wanted to be really safe, you would wait until you got above the value area high again, right? So we're going to bounce from this little support. We're going to get above the value area high. There you enter once you reclaim. Once we reclaim, what is this? 75.097. So pretty much 75.1. And that's pretty much the exact level I shorted yesterday. But if we start to reclaim 75.1 and we're bouncing here, which it looks like we're trying to, we can enter the scalp long now. If I get stopped out of my scalp short, okay, well, I already took some profit just now, and I might just move my stop loss to break even right now. But I can enter a long here. And if I get stopped out on the short, it was still a win. And now I'm winning in a long. And I'm playing the momentum of the trade, of the day, I mean. So let's see how this reaction goes. Let's go on the 1 minute real quick here. How does this look? Honestly, I don't see 1 minute bull divs yet. I don't like what I see yet. Let's see our order flow. Do we see any? Let me just refresh this real quick. We are seeing a lot of shorts step in right now. So either these shorts are going to be successful and we're going to break underneath that value area high, or it's going to be used as a giant squeeze. Okay, let's see here. Let me look at, so right now our stop loss is 0.113%. So that means you could pretty much 10x long your entire portfolio on, like, let's just say 9x or 10x. If it was 0.10, you could 10x long your entire portfolio. And if you get stopped out, you're only going to lose 1%. I have not longed yet because I do not see proper confirmation yet. If we come down and make another low right now, this is where NAMI really comes in handy, because NAMI's a lot quicker than Market Cipher B. So if NAMI comes down, we make another new low and we see bull divs on NAMI, then we could enter once we reclaim the value area high, and then we would have better confirmation. Right now, we don't really have proper confirmation, and all of this has been fresh shorts opening up. So it's kind of dangerous because either those bears are going to take control right now or they're going to get wiped out. So let's see if we can get one more low. while we're live right now, or if we can start to range in here, a 1 minute range in here. If we can see that and it looks like we're going to hold this, then I will enter a scalp long with you guys. I'll walk you guys through how I would enter that scalp long. Now, if we, Big Nick, I get what you're saying. Small correction down to 74.7 and then a wave 5 up to SFP the high. The thing with that, Nick, is I get what you're saying, but a wave 3 generally goes to the 1.618 or higher. So if we're looking at from today's lows and you're looking at this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, first of all, if you come down to 74.7, you would have overlap between the highs of your wave 1s and the lows of your wave 4. So you could not classify that as a wave 4. In a bullish scenario, it would be a 1, 2, 1, 2, and then you would get the 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, right? But there's also another strike against that. If we're looking at this as a 1, 2, 3, you didn't even make it to the 1 to 1. You generally want to make it up here to the 1.618 for a wave 3. Wave 3 explodes, and then you usually get a pullback in a 4 and a 5, right? So right now, with this rejection that we're seeing, I do have to say right now, this is starting to look a bit 3-wave correcty. And then if it is a 3-wave correction, eventually you think you're planning to take out these lows. Coons is amazing, man. Coons is awesome. Okay, starting to see a bit of a range in here. Good sign. Little bit of a good sign. I want to make another low, though. I would really like to make another low and see a bull div on the 1 minute. All right. All right. And let's see. Let me check this chat. Next bull run, my goal is to build my 20K account to 100K and so on. Quality crypto. You don't have to wait until the bull run to do that, though. The great thing about being a derivatives trader is you can still make money on the way down, you know, shorting the market. So I would say, unless it's a spot account, don't wait until the next bull run. Constantly be learning now, constantly be trying to evolve your trading game now and be building it in the bear market as well. You know, I do understand bull markets are easier to trade because it's easier for people to long than it is to short. But short money actually can be very quick money because generally you get the staircase up, right? You get the staircase up and then the elevator down. So when you catch those nice shorts, man, it's a great way to make some profit. All right, we are starting to see a little bit of a push up here. I mean, we are bouncing from the golden pocket, guys. We are bouncing from our most local 3-minute golden pocket here. I think it would be a little bit nicer if we could come down one more time and make up another low and see some bull divs on the 1-minute time frame. Let me zoom out to the 15. How does the 15 look? All right. I mean, not too bad, actually, guys. Not too bad at all. And then let's look at our 1 hour. How does the 1 hour look? I mean, this is probably going to continue. Shit. Yeah, I mean, okay, it's probably going to continue. I am going to move my stop loss to break even, guys, on this short trade that I just took. Okay. Now we just filled this little 1-minute imbalance. You can see that fair value gap that was in here. Filled that little fair value gap. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a move down. That's a 3-minute, not a 1-minute, but yeah. All right, yeah, and you are seeing some long step in here. in the past 10 minutes. We're seeing fresh long positions step in. So on the bullish back test of the value area high, we're seeing long step in. I think this is likely to continue up, guys. And real quick, I know Crypto Clan World, you wanted to look at ETH. Let's check out ETH really quickly here. So it looks like we're kind of in that zone of resistance on ETH. I mean, this actually is old. We had a naked weekly point of control that we rejected from last week there. That naked weekly point of control at 23.29. But we're breaking out of our prior 15-minute range here. And we're forming a new 15-minute range, just like on Bitcoin. But look at, once again, this looks like a three-wave corrective move. We're making a higher low overall. And what do we see? We're seeing us break our bearish market structure of the last 24 hours. All these lower highs and lower lows, we're breaking them. If we pull our local, very local golden pocket in here, all right, you're right around that local golden pocket 786 zone. So yeah, rejecting from your local 786. Let me get rid of, hold on. Let's get rid of this because we already SFP'd that. And let's get rid of this purple box because that's no longer resistance here. And so 4-hour chart. Yeah, and remember, we were trading within the bigger pitchfork band for quite some time. We broke above it last week. And if you remember last week, this spot right here, we were looking to hold the back test. After breaking above it last Tuesday, we were looking to hold the back test, and we did. And we're continuing bullish market structure to the upside. Now, the range highs, we did take out the range highs as well. And we're starting, we were starting to see a move down. But as of right now, this looks like it could be a completed three-wave corrective move down for us to continue up. And if we look at our other pitchfork on, okay, yeah, you're at the top. You rejected from the top of your little 2-month long pitchfork, right? This pitchfork is based off this sideways range that we were developing, this kind of sideways range that we've been developing. So we're at the top of the pitchfork, which is an area where you can see a double top, right? You have your initial top. You usually come up to the top of the pitchfork if you get that SFP double top, but we're still holding that that lower limit of the upper pitchfork band is holding this morning. What I would now want to see, let me go ahead and get rid of this for a second. And we're going to get rid of that. We would want to see a breakout of this pitchfork, like a true breakout. I will say this does look corrective to me. And now you really want to start to impulse up here. USDT dominance dropping suggests that we could get that. We are seeing just a little small pullback from your very local intraday golden pocket. Nothing too much to be worried about there. And if we look at that $2,900 level is where I'm still long from way earlier on ETH, and my overall TP, my final TP I have is around 2,900. So I do think Ethereum could make a move up to 2,900. If we look at, let's go out to the 8-hour time frame here. There is not a lot. Actually, there's pretty much nothing. Look at in here. There's pretty much nothing from keeping us to quick. If we break out of this pitchfork, nothing to keep us from moving straight up, right? Not a lot of resistance. We've already messed with this order block and this point of control within this guy here. So if we are not going to double top right now, it is very likely we continue up to 2,900 on Ethereum. Like Ethereum actually is way better looking than Solana as far as the amount of resistance above us. Let's check this out. Yeah, I mean, 2,900 to 3,000. And I actually probably have that marked out already. Let me do this. Naked dailies. All right, there's a couple naked dailies together at 27, like 27 to 20, 26.93 to 27.32. So you could see a small reaction in this zone. But other than that, I suspect we work our way up to 29 to 3,000. What we want to see there, Crypto Clown World, is we want to see a breakout of this pitchfork. We do not want to see another shot, you know, even if it's because we got what looks like a three-wave move here. If we come up and we kind of fool around again in here, double top, and then kind of start, that's going to be very bad. And I would expect a big rotation down. But if we can actually start to break out of this, even if it's just like this, I would expect to move at least to 2,700. Money flow looks pretty good, but you do have bear divs on the 8-hour. You do have confirmed bear divs on the 8-hour. Let's go to our daily time frame. You do have confirmed bear divs on the daily time frame as well. Pretty aggressive confirmed bear divs. Now, I will say this. Money flow looks pretty strong on NAMI, and it looks at least decent on Market Cipher B. So I would be concerned with the daily bear divs of a fake out, like one more high, because this was a three-wave corrective move. I would be worried about a double top in here. Three-wave corrective move, double top, you could get that big drop because of the 8-hour, 4-hour daily bear divs. So in this scenario with Ethereum, I would be looking potentially at around, you know, your SFP of Tuesday's highs. Other than that, if you don't SFP Tuesday's highs and you start to break out, I expect at least 2,700. But most likely 29. Okay, Lance Revo, thank you for the kind comment, man. I appreciate you being in here as well. Okay, I think I'm way behind in the chat. Yep, okay. All right, let me check Bitcoin here. Come on, let's get a small pullback. One more small pullback, please. One more small pullback. Oh, nice. Big Nick, I'm actually long on Solana from right around 78 as well. But I just took, I literally had a limit TP order at $90 to take out 75% of what I had left in the trade. So that trade is pretty much, it's open, but it's been mostly taken out. What does SFP mean? Gerthank, it means swing failure pattern. So what a swing failure pattern is when you have a swing high or a swing low. Let me just give you a really good example of this that happened on Tuesday. So, and I'll get to a clean chart. So this is our range that we've been in for 2 months, right? 2.5 months. We've been in a sideways range in here, right? And you have certain highs and certain lows that mean a lot. High, low, and when these are swing highs and swing lows. So anytime, like down here was an important weekly level, it was an important golden pocket, and it was an important value area low of our range, right? If you just pull that range, you can see it was an important value area low in there. So what you're looking for on a swing failure pattern, it's a trick that the market makers use on breakout traders. Like when you start to drop and lose the level, everyone thinks, oh, we're losing it, it's going to dump here. Or like in this opinion, in this case, we're pumping right now. We've been pumping for 3 weeks straight. You're coming up to your liquidity, and anyone that shorted prior in this area is putting their stop above that high, right? So you have stop losses above that high, or even liquidation levels above that high for anyone that shorted with high volume up in here. So when you're looking for a swing failure pattern, you're looking to come up to wick out that swing high, to pierce above that level to stop out those traders, and then it fails, and then you drop, right? And that's what a swing failure pattern is. It's a trick by the market makers to grab liquidity and to stop out all the short trades that shorted, to kind of reset the market, and then the market will just drop anyways, right? So in this case on Tuesday, we had our range highs, and ultimate range highs and range lows are very important liquidity levels. So we had our range, if I can even put it on there, our range highs, and look at what happened on Tuesday. You come up, you pump aggressively from 70K up to 76K, you wick out that liquidity, you stop out those traders, and then you see a bit of a drop. Now, usually liquidity grab is the same thing as a swing failure pattern. So usually they'll give you at least a good scalp. Like right now, the swing from the short that you got in on this swing failure pattern was already a good trade because you dropped, you know what, 3-4% already. You dropped from, you know, what was that? 3.5% already. So that's a good scalp trade if you had proper risk management there. Even if this continues up, yeah, ultimately I would classify it as a failed swing failure pattern or a successful scalp swing failure pattern. But what you're looking for on a swing failure pattern is a pierce above the level, a rejection, fall back underneath the level, and then you generally drop. It's the same thing on highs and lows. Like we had actually here was a really good swing failure pattern. So you made a low here on Friday, and then we chopped for the entire week. And on Sunday night, we came down, we swing failed that low from Friday, and then you push up, right? So a lot of people are saying, oh, Friday, we tried to bounce the entire weekend. Oh, we're dropping. We're going to crash. We're going to finally break the value area low. You just grab liquidity from Friday's low, and then you pump. And swing failure patterns, the way to trade a swing failure pattern is you want to see, let me just go into like the 15-minute time frame. And if we look here on Tuesday, we're pumping aggressively, right? Everyone thinks we're going to break out, new all-time highs are coming or 100K is coming, stuff like that. You pierce above the level, you stop out those traders. Once you start to fall back underneath the level, and I generally will wait for a 5-minute candle close, then you can enter your short wherever that was. For me, it was 75,846. Enter your short, and you put your stop loss above wherever the wick high went to. And then your TP, you're looking at, your support levels for TPs. So I hope that helps a little bit. It's a very powerful tool in trading liquidity, or it's a very powerful trading strategy in trading because liquidity grabs give you really good risk management. Guys, I think that this is about to continue. I think that we should have, all right, if you got into that scalp long, Rui, good for you. We were bouncing from a golden pocket and it was the back test area. I kind of gave this support before, even though I didn't enter this trade. I am long from lower, so I'm not too worried about this scalp long. But it looks like my scalp short that I just entered is going to get stopped out at break even. And I did take that 20% profit already. So I'll make a itty bit of money on this, on the scalp that we just took during the stream. There's still a possibility we reject from golden pocket and then come down one more time. So that's why I'm not entering long right now. See, another thing, guys, about risk management, FOMO, right? A lot of people say, oh man, I wanted to enter down here. Now we're all the way up here. I'm just going to enter because Divine Hood said it's likely to take out the highs. That is not good risk management. If you enter right now, you have to put your stop. Oop, hold on. Let me get rid of this guy for a second. If you enter right now, you have to put your stop below that local low. And then your first target would really be taking out that high. That's only a 1.21 risk to reward ratio. Remember, we want to trade with at least, like, if you can, a 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio is the best. That way you can, it gives you a greater probability of overall being profitable. So I try to at least get a 2.5 in my personal case. So you wouldn't want a long right now because your first TP would be a double top here, right? Into the 1-to-1. If you see a double top into the 1-to-1, overall, that's still a 3-wave corrective move, and then you could roll over. So what I would want to see, and also this move down is pretty aggressive, or I guess you could say this is 3-wave here, but I would rather see something like this. And then if we hold again here, that is when you could long. We also didn't see confirmation even on the 1 minute to take a long from this box. Even though I drew the box there, I wasn't interested in taking it because I didn't have proper confirmation. And remember, I am a confirmation trader. I wait for a reaction and then I want to see some confirmation to trade. And that is why Market Cypher B and NAMI have helped me become more profitable, because if I don't see my proper confirmation, I won't take the trade. Does that mean sometimes I miss out on trades? Yes, it does. Like I could miss out on this scalp long that we just talked about. I didn't see proper confirmation. I didn't take it. If we get another move down now, guys, if we get another move down like this, and we take out the low that we just made and we see 1 minute bull divs on the chart, I'll probably look at taking that scalp long. I'm already long on most of my Bitcoin accounts though, so I might have to add to a long. Okay, let's see here. Best 00001 BTC I sent. It's on its way. Okay. The chat gets unhinged when Mark is around. Well, Mark's funny, man. Mark's awesome. By the way, those white Mickey Mouse socks yours? Yep, they are. No, I don't know if you're talking to me, Mark. All right. Market makers deployed 175 billion from sideline cash, supposedly. Okay. And John, it's good to see you in here, man. Welcome in. User BDC, what do you think about the ES and NQ? Well, we'll check those. We can check those out in just a second. I know that they were pretty bullish. So let's see. This candle's likely end of day closing out. 75, 175. Stop right now. Awesome. Crypto Wander 18. That's awesome, man. You know, I do think it's looking like it wants to continue up. So I don't blame you. Now, if we do come down again, you might get stopped out and then you could try to re-enter, right? If you're already long from that area. Or if you put your stop below that low, you know, like 75K, 75 or even like 74,950-ish, you should be good still if we get another low, unless it's like something like this. Okay, and then we were gonna check out. Oh, hold on, let me just go here. So I believe we made new all-time highs. Yeah, new all-time highs. Wow, guys, so what we were seeing, actually, let me go to the daily real quick, because we were expecting quite an aggressive drop on the ES just based off the daily bear divs that had been developing since August. Like, we saw some pretty aggressive bear divs since August. If you look here, look at these aggressive bear divs that were developing. Really, all of this higher highs in the price action starting to roll over, and you had all these lower highs in the momentum waves with money flow draining out of the asset. But we did see a nice bottom. I actually wanted to come a little bit lower. I actually wanted to hit this pitchfork midline. But we also were checking out a channel, a very steep channel in here. And I said, if we start to break out of the channel, it's likely we at least come sweep these highs in here. So, and those highs were so close to the all-time high that you're most likely going to sweep the all-time high as well. That was this channel in here. And if we zoom in onto like the 2-hour chart, we had this channel. We had a little bit of chop in and outside of it, but it was based off these first two pivots. But what do I think about the ES? I mean, I think the ES is looking really bullish now. This was your bearish golden pocket retrace, and you can see what happened is you busted straight through it. You back tested it. So if, you know, you rejected from your 786 only to back test that golden pocket and then continue. What I would say is I think we're at least likely to continue up to around 71.28, where this top of the pitchfork band is again. But if we look at man, this is a bit tough here as far as the Elliott waves go. I mean, from your March 2020 lows, could you be looking at like a wave 1, a wave 2, 3? I mean, I would need, because that's not even long enough for the wave 3. So I would say all of this could be the wave 3. Hold on, let's check that out. Yeah, I mean, you could be riding up to the top of the pitchfork in a wave 3. You could see around 77.64. That's going to be at the top of your pitchfork. So it could be that this is a 1, 2, all of this is a 3 in here on the weekly time frame. You get a pullback for a 4, and then you could get a 5, pushing up, maybe even up to like 9,000, 10,000. But locally, at least right now, I would say you are looking pretty bullish. You broke out of this channel. You broke out of the channel with high volume here. And I mean, there's no sign of a bearish market structure change in here. Your money flow looks really strong. You are seeing some 4-hour bear divs here, but when your money flow is this bullish, it's always going to overpower a single drive of bear div. I would at the very least, I would expect to come up to 71.28 to like 71.30 at the very least. You break above that, you could be making, you break above that. Let's see, actually, let's pull. Yeah, I mean, I would really expect to come up quite a bit more up to that like 1.618 Fibonacci extinction, or even, I guess your 1-to-1 is going to be up there. No, you broke the 1-to-1, so never mind. It's just looking bullish to me. It looks like we're going to continue pushing up. I would be careful about a small pullback from 71, 71.28, 71.30. You could see a small pullback to kind of back test this band again. Okay. Daily open, wave 2 of the third. Wait, daily open, wave 2 of the third wave. Okay, so I assume you're talking about Bitcoin, and you're talking about the daily open, and we're in wave 2 of the third. I see what you mean. You're probably saying like 1, 2, this is all going to be 3, but we're in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. 4 and then a 5. Is that what you mean, Mamba? Or wait, who was that? This Adrian. Your short is going to be a swing. 67.3 will come. So I'm in a short from 75.846 from Tuesday. Yesterday, I shorted 75.1 in this general area here. I just got stopped out on that today. And then just now, I entered a short on this SFP here. But I am looking for shorts because we're near range highs, guys. So that's why I'm looking for shorts right now. But with the bullish momentum we're seeing locally, I'm also looking to enter to scalp longs. I'm still in a long. My original entry was around, around 69, 68.9 or so, but I added to it. So now it's at like, it's right around those range lows of 70.5. I think if we hit this, I would get stopped out. If we hit 70.5, I would get stopped out. I also entered another scalp long opportunity. Where's my phone at? Where is it at? I have a few different exchanges that I trade on, obviously, like the partners of the channel, things like that. No, okay, never mind. Yeah, just that one long position on Bitcoin. I'm long on Solana and Ethereum still. and I am long on gold. And actually, speaking of gold, I wanted to check gold out. So gold is at a macro gold, not the most macro golden pocket, but it's at an important golden pocket in here. And I know this is a messy chart, so let me hide some of this, guys. But I did take profit at this golden pocket right here from 4,200. Or 4,206. I entered at 4,206 based off of bouncing from our macro pitchfork midline. And it was also kind of your one-to-one between your one-to-one and your 1.236 trend-based fib extinction, because I was looking at this overall being a 3-wave corrective move, and then maybe we were going to continue up here. What I would say is this so far is not looking the most bullish. Unless this is a bunch of 1-2s that are stacking 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2, and then you're going to get a big 3 and then a bunch of 4 5s. There's a lot of corrective choppy overlap within that channel, and that's a channel that I had on the chart, this channel, and we've been holding it overall, but we're finally starting to break it down. It's a little bit, and we're at the golden pocket, right? And then if you remember on Tuesday, we SFP'd this high from April 7th. Yes. On this Tuesday, we SFP'd Tuesday, April 7th high, just like Bitcoin SFP'd the range highs. So I am looking maybe at potentially seeing a pullback from here on gold, but I wanted to make it up to, so there's a couple things. This golden pocket here, I originally didn't have it based off log scale, and I kept telling you guys last week around, let me go to the XAU chart. I think it's on Binance. Yeah. So on Binance, XAU is what you trade on the exchanges, on the crypto exchanges. I've been looking at this corrective channel. And remember, in a pullback, you oftentimes will form a descending channel, a corrective descending channel. But if we were to come up to about 5,100, the top of the channel in the golden pocket, but I did realize something. I was doing more analysis on this, and the drop from the all-time high to that low is over 30%. It's about 30%. So I changed it to based off log scale because it's close. And if you change it to based off log scale, it drops your golden pocket just a little bit. And in that golden pocket, we did have a naked weekly point of control. Oh, I guess not on XAU, but I'm almost positive on gold we still had it. Let me see. Yes. So see on gold, you still have that naked weekly point of control there. So I am looking around $5,000 as well. 5,000, your golden pocket's right around that area. And this golden pocket is pulled from the all-time high down to that low at 4,100. The thing with gold is we were able to enter back inside of our volume profile. So if you take a range, and I'm sorry, guys, I know this chart is super messy, but this is your all-time high, and we're kind of forming a sideways range in here, right? From that, and it's more of a descending channel range, but we're forming this descending channel in here, and descending channels are usually corrective. And if you remember, we're talking about gold being in an impulse, being only done with the third wave. Let's go to the weekly time frame. And I believe I was even only talking about it from, you know, like a 1, 2, 3, seeing a pullback in a 4 or 5. But I actually was looking on a smaller time frame at a count. 1, 2, all of this is a 3 because it's just giant. And then you're going to see a pullback in a 4 before getting a 5 in here to finish this impulse up from, what was that? $1,600. So I was expecting a pullback here, but overall to make a higher low before breaking to a new all-time high. on the weekly chart. This is on the weekly chart, right? So, and clearly all of this is a third wave. No change in market structure, very bullish momentum. Your volume was increasing rapidly during this, and look at the parabolic move. So it's most likely classified as a 3. So your wave 2 pullback was, what was that? 154 days. So you want your wave 4 pullback to be similar in time to that or a bit longer. And that's why I've been looking for a pullback. And I did say we did have support right at that pitchfork midline, but this has only been 56 days. So it's been 3 times as less. So because of that, I'm potentially looking for us to continue to chop within this descending channel a little bit more. And that's why I'm looking around 55,000 for a potential short. If we can get a short just to come back down to like 4,300, and then we get, you know, that final move up. Okay, let's go back to Bitcoin, but let me just. All right. High is in at 76.1, and we will start to go down now. Well, Mamba, I do get what you're saying, and that's why I am short from around $76,000. But that high at 76.1, the move we've seen so far looks like a 3-wave corrective move, and now we're starting to break market structure bullishly. So literally just before the stream, my bias changed a little bit because we're starting to break market structure bullishly. If we didn't break market structure bullishly, I would say, yeah, it's more likely we are going to continue pushing down aggressively. But because now we're starting to break all of these lower highs, you have a bullish break in market structure. And now your bias has to shift locally to potentially taking out that high again. And yes, so far this morning, we are seeing another 3-wave corrective pump. So from the lows, this is looking like a 3-wave corrective pump, and then you could roll back over. That's why I just got into the short right now. Okay, looks like 5-minute is coming back down for another low. Let's see. Okay, guys, this is like kind of the test here. Do we have bull divs as we're coming into this low? No, and money flow, I mean, our momentum is blowing out here. Okay, even if we get a bounce here, I'm not taking the long. Excuse me. Based off what we're seeing, I'm not taking a long. And this could get really ugly. Really, really ugly right now, guys, if we start to fall back inside of this channel. Okay. Oh, Solana. Let me check Solana. Yeah. If we can get, okay, Solana is starting to see a loss of the golden pocket. I kind of like what we're seeing here now on Solana for a potential short, but what I want to see now, yeah, because actually look at this. You reject from your golden pocket, your anchored VWAP, you try to bounce from the value area high, and now we're starting to lose it with volume. So even if we wanted to enter a bigger short on Solana right now, stop above the high, even targeting the POC is still a 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio, but my overall TP would be way down, taking out your $75 lows. And the reason why is because you're at the value area high. If you reject the value area high, you expect to move at least to value area low. So I guess TP1 would be that, or TP2 would be that value area low. The golden pocket liquidity grab into the value area low. I automatically took profit on a Solana long at $90, and it happened during the stream. I was just checking on my phone. Let me see here. Yeah, so awesome. Awesome sauce. Completely out of one of the Solana longs. I have still a small percentage in on Blowfin on the Solana long. Okay, yeah. And remember, we have daily bear divs. We have 8-hour bear divs. We have 4-hour bear divs. So these are major resistance areas, guys. USDT seen a little bit of a bounce up. I'm concerned, though. I really do think USDT is going to continue down a bit. Now, could we see another move up real quick before continuing down, continuing kind of like this exhaustive channel that you usually start to develop? Sure. Actually, you could even say already it's starting. All right. Let's see. Divine. The pattern which precedes recessions is a double top on the S&P, where the S&P does a 10% correction, then makes the highs. We could be in the middle of some distribution. Yeah, Bansbell, that's a really good point. I would be watching for some sort of double top on the S&P because you still do have pretty aggressive bear divs here, right? I mean, that have been not one drive, not two drive. You have multiple drives of bear div on the daily. Now, those daily bear divs that we were seeing here did play out with a pretty aggressive move to the downside. So if we get a move, I would say you're either going to double top in this area here, or I do think you're going to come up to the top of the pitchfork. If not, it's like 76 to 78, let's say. But let's see, let's see what we get here. Right now, I don't see very much indication that it's a double top yet. You are still above your previous all-time highs. You closed yesterday's daily candle above it. Today's daily candle is likely to close above it. So, it did close above it. So I would expect a continuation at least to that 71.25, 71.30 zone. And yeah, maybe that is going to be our double top. And you're right, we do have to watch for that. Okay. Yeah, BTC's dumping a little bit, huh? Well, that's why I got into the SFP here, guys. I got into the SFP short because it was a major liquidity grab. We did see the 5-minute candle close below. It is still that golden pocket area. If you pull your golden pocket from the swing highs. So I'm in two shorts right now. I'm in the short from Tuesday's SFP and I'm in the short from today's SFP. Yeah, I guess it was your 786. Look at that. It was your 786 Fibonacci. And it was a 3-wave corrective move. Now the big, once again, for real confirmation that this was a 3-wave corrective move and that we're going to roll right over, you want to take out this low at 74,753 because that would be a break in market structure bearishly, right? Because so far today, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. If you start to even break very low time market structure bearishly, that gives you a greater probability that this was a 3-wave corrective move and that you are going to roll over. Okay. First week of May crash. Well, I think it was the 3rd week of May, Bansbell, when that trend-based Fibonacci time. It's an important trend-based Fibonacci time. I believe it was from the week of May 22nd through May 27th or something like that. That around that time is an important Fibonacci time resistance or not just time alignment, I should say. So that is, yeah, Sunday, May 24th, around there. So it wouldn't probably happen on a weekend, but maybe Monday the 25th, you could be seeing some stuff go on there. And as far as this goes, yeah, I mean, A, B, the C could come up to 82. It doesn't have to. You've hit your minimum target. You SFP'd the range highs. So with the daily bear divs that we're seeing confirmed, you could absolutely roll over. Actually, I think what would be even nicer, guys, as far as this time goes, if we're coming down to like 57,000, 58,000, so we would probably have to roll over pretty soon here. You'd want to see that big impulse crash, right? And if we're like continuing to drop here towards the end of May, that could be a major low where then you start to push up. Oh yeah, I'm still in the shorts, man. I'm not going to close them. I'm also still in a long though as well that I'm not going to close. I've already taken 2 TPs on it. Stop losses at break even. And Mamba, I think this is the first time I've seen you in here. Does definitely sound like you know what you're doing as a trader. But I personally, and I learned this from Jason, one of my mentors, we like to do what's called the schlong. So you're trying to low towards like supports, or you're longing during supports in the range, and you're shorting during resistances. You take a TP1 and a TP2, and then you move your stop loss to break even. You'll stay in this long trade just in case it's going to be a runner. And then you get into the short trades. You take a TP1 on the short and you stay in the short. And that helps with psychology. So you're always in a winning trade. No matter if it keeps going here, your short continues to pay. If it rolls over here, or your long continues to pay, excuse me. If you roll over here, your short starts to pay, and then you make it stopped out on the long position, but you're still open in a short in profit. So it's like a schlonging strategy that we do where you're psychologically a lot more disciplined because you're always hedged against yourself in some ways. And honestly, it does work really, really well for psychology and trading. Like that is one of the major things that Jason, understood and developed. Okay. Yeah, sub 60K will be after you see Bitcoin hit 78 to 80K. I'm actually thinking that too. Like I'm thinking that we could see a rise up to around 78 is definitely a important level. That daily order blocks in there. We have a naked daily point of control. We have a daily level in there, obviously. And so 78's a decent level, but I think the better level is that 82.5, 82.3, 82.5, where if we come up there, it's your one-to-one target. If this is an A, B, C, that's your one-to-one target. That's your golden pocket pulled from the 98K highs down to your 60K lows. Of course, it's on log scale. And then the pitchforks. There's not just this pitchfork that is here. There's a couple other pitchforks there as well. And then, like, how cool would it be to see that, and then that, and then, we'll see what we get. And as more data develops on the charts, we'll have a clear path of what's happening. But I'm positioned in good spots right now on Bitcoin on the day trades to swing trades. So awesome, man. Yep. Yeah, the schlonging is really nice to do. Okay, Ben's Bell, you said same as the push to 98K in January. First week of May crash. Yeah, and once again, guys, remember, I was so adamant that this range was a corrective range, and so many people in this area were calling me an idiot and saying, yeah, we're about to go to 110K, 105K, and all this, and 116K I heard a lot, because that was the golden pocket, was 116K, which was also the value area high of the range. But it was just more likely that this was a corrective range before continuing to take out your 74K lows. Now, on this low it is a kind of a nice low, I would say, but you didn't have your big daily bull divs. No daily bull divs, no daily bull divs here. And every major bull market, or excuse me, bear market low has had like weekly bull divs and daily bull divs. So for me, I don't think it's a macro low, but that doesn't mean we can't move up a bit higher. Because remember, within this Y wave, hold on, let me get rid of this. Within this Y wave, we're still looking for potentially that 3-wave corrective move to finish it. Decrypto, welcome in, man. Good to see you in here. Yeah, let's get the likes up to the watchers. Guys, please hit the like button if you did get any sort of insight into the market from this live stream, or if you're just enjoying the live stream at all, please hit the like button for me. Also, remember, there is the Telegram. If you want to join the Telegram, it is free. It's a private community. It's free. All you have to do is join BYDFI using my affiliate link in the description and deposit the minimum deposit of $100 or more. You can deposit more if you want to get some of these bigger bonuses. And then once you do that, click the Telegram link, and in that Telegram channel, you type in /verify and then your BYDFI user ID, and that'll get you into the Telegram. And once you're in the Telegram, you're in the Telegram. It's free. The money you deposit into BYDFI is your money. You're not paying it to me. You're not paying it to BYDFI. You're just depositing on the exchange in hopes that you'll try out the exchange and like the exchange. It's got great fees. It's got great UI. It's got great order books. So it's a way to say thank you to the channel. It's a way to help out. And I believe it's a win-win for everyone because you guys get bonuses, you get discounts on trading fees. If you're trading that USDT market, the Bitcoin USDT or altcoins against USDT, you earn extra money depending on how much volume you move. You can earn up to $8,100 in extra trading bonuses, extra bonuses. So I really do think it's a win-win. And then in the Telegram, I try to keep you guys updated throughout the day on what I'm thinking on Bitcoin. I let you guys know if I enter any shorts or, scalp trades or swing trades, day trades. And even on the altcoins, I try to let you guys know what I'm thinking. Gold as well, gold and silver. And I've even been trading oil a little bit. Anyways, guys, I see that I've been streaming for 2.5 hours, and I do got to get going soon because I have to be somewhere in about 50 minutes. And I still have a couple things to do before I got to leave the house. So I appreciate y'all. I will be live tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll see if we can get some more live trades in. By tomorrow, we should have more information on whether this is a major top or not as well on Bitcoin. So come join me tomorrow, please. I appreciate all of your guys' support. I appreciate all of your love in here. Let's keep trading the charts. Let's keep trying to scrape money away from the market makers every single day and just keep building our accounts. So much love to you all. Thank you to the mods out there. Sudeep, Mark, R Pink, thank you so much for everything you do. Always posting